PrepSpin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson Sims and Commode PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.
Welcome, Coach Jonathan Hawks from Tates Creek High School. Thanks for participating in the 2022 PrepSpin Football Preview. We're here in the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Studio, Rafferty's Restaurants. And thanks to everyone for tuning in for the PrepSpin Football Webcast as we start the football season. And of course, I want to introduce Coach Mike Meehan. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fantastic. What a lot of fun this is going to be.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And William Warfield, the King of Stream. How's it going over there, William?
It's going good, man. Going good.
That's good. And I'm going to introduce for our first coach, Jonathan Hawks. And Jonathan, we're hearing a lot about Tates Creek, that it's a team on the rise, so to speak. You know, Tates Creek does rise. And talk to us about your schedule.
I think, the first game, of course, not really a game of scrimmage. We go down to Elizabethtown. That'll be on Friday. And then we'll come back and I play my old teammate, Craig Yeast up there in Mercer County. We'll play on next Saturday. And then from there, I believe we'll have Douglas at home, and then it'll go Mason County. And then I think it's Woodford County, Bryan Station, Lexington Catholic, Paul Lawrence Dunbar. If I forget somebody, I apologize. It's a lot that, your brain, you want to be able to slow it down so you can kind of take it game by game. And I know we're in the back half of the season with Henry Clay, Lafayette, and Boone County. So it's a pretty hefty schedule. That front part of the schedule is really, really tough. And so I'm looking forward just to see how many kids step up to the challenge.
And you talked about Craig Yeast at Mercer County. I know there went a lot went into that scheduling of Craig Yeast.
Well, I actually last year we played Boyle County in this same Mercer County. I don't know what they call it, but it's their bowl game, and so I know that we played Boyle County last year. And when I took over, I was like, hey, do we go back to Harrisburg or to Mercer County? And they said, yep, you actually play Mercer County. So I'm excited, I'm happy, right? Because I'm thinking like, all right, we get a chance to go Mercer County. Then there's ain't no Craig gets hired. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Then I got to play Craig, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's an exciting time though. Him and I are good friends, and so I'm excited for that challenge,
Coach?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about your team, but first of all, do you have some? I would like to hear like who your assistant coaches are. Being a new coach, although you're not new at Tate's Creek,
Right.
I want to explain that real quickly, but you really are, had to hire some people. So
Yeah. I went in and going into the coaching staff, coaching staff hiring. I didn't want to just hire any guys just to come and be a part of, because I'm such a community person. Like, where I just work so hard, not just on the field. Like I spend countless days and hours working outside of football just to do different things with my families in the community, with some of the community supporters that we have. So I needed guys that could be out there with me that wasn't afraid to be out there. So I hired a really good young guy, Coach Taylor Hatchell. He's my quarterback coach. Played collegiate ball, and that's another thing that I was looking at too, somebody who can identify with the game of football, not just at the high school level, but somebody who has that collegiate level experience as well. So but he does a really good job with the development of the quarterbacks. Of course, you got myself. I'm still going to stay with the receivers, but I brought on a young man that I truly I appreciate him. He really works hard, played football at the Division I level. His name is Omar Black. He'll be a part of the coaching staff and really works. He works hard with me, and I'm excited about him. We got Coach Justin Adekoya. He played at Eastern Kentucky. Had an opportunity to play a little NFL ball himself. Does a really good job relating to the kids. The kids love him. They respect him, and I call him my big sidekick. Because at the end of the day, he's one of those guys that's an enforcer. So I enjoy him and his experience. We got another coach played at Memphis. His name. Coach Brown, called Marcus Brown. So Coach Marcus Brown is another guy. He'll kind of work between that offense and defensive line, between both of those, just to give those coaches some support. Especially from the development level, from the freshmen and JV guys. Really need to make sure that those linemen are getting the type of support that they need. And Coach Brown played at Memphis, so he has a lot of great experience. And look, between Coach A and Coach Brown, they're both about 6'6", so it makes me look small. But they're my bodyguards, right?
Yeah.
And then we got,
Bookends.
Then we got Coach Trey Hughes. I kept him on from the previous staff, and he'll be the running backs coach. And again, just having guys that are community people. And so when you look at the defensive side of the ball, you got a guy named we're all out of state, most of the coaches too. So you got Coach Brandon Duncan. He came over from another school here locally, but he played at Dunbar High School. He's our defensive backs coach. Does a really good job communicating with the kids. Really does a great job of just building relationships with the kids on and off the field, which has been huge. I need that. Yeah. Coach LaShawn Miller, he's our D coordinator. He's a guy that he's from Florida, played ball in North Carolina at Elon College, and just has a really, really good grasp on defense. And I trust what he's doing. He has a great group of guys behind him. So we got Coach Greg Gerton. He's a linebackers coach, special teams guy for us, and we kind of make the special teams collectively a group. So that's been special. I know I'm going on. I got a bunch, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you got a good staff.
Yeah.
And young coaches.
And also that staff's like an extension of you, isn't it?
Yeah. I get excited talking about them because they good men.
And we know you, Gary and I for sure know you, and we know that your number one concern is raising good people, having good people out there. So I'm just going to make that clear to everybody. We got a really good man here at Coach, not just a good coach.
Excellent. We got an excellent man.
All right, absolutely. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about your team. Name me maybe two people that graduated that you're going to miss since you were there last year, and then talk a little bit about who you've got returning this year.
The main man's back. The quarterback is back.
I want to say. And when you think about who's gone, we had some guys last year that, and again, I hadn't coached for 3 years before I came on last year, so I don't know how big of an impact a lot of the kids made. And I know one right off the bat is Matthew Underwood, because I watched him grow from the time he was younger, until now. And, Elijah Perkins is one of my guys who actually come out and ran, and he threw for me in track. Those two guys pop off the list right off the bat, because both of those guys I really got to know really, really well. But, of course, Matthew, again, watching him grow and just being where he's at right now, those two guys will definitely be missed on the D-line and in the running back room. So
I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's real quickly. I'll name a position, and you kind of give me a quick synopsis of where you stand right now. Let's start on offense. Just give me your offensive line group.
Devin Young.
Well, you don't have. You can name them if you want to, but I'm just talking about where you think your strengths and weaknesses are.
I think the tackles are my strengths because I got two guys that played the last 2 years that are hard workers, and the big guys can move really well. I think the heart of the team is the center. Has a lot of heart, improved over the offseason, got in the weight room, really developed his body and his strength, working on his hips and footwork and mobility. So I think that he's going to be a really outstanding player for it this year.
Good. Okay, what about your backfield, your running backs?
Made some guys make some different transitions. Definitely one that sticks out to me. He's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he can surprise himself as well. So we hopefully, bigger running back, be able to come out and have some success this year.
All right, and then receivers. I know that's what you coached before.
I love my receivers.
Are you 4 wide?
Just multiple sets, just depending on what we like as far as matchups. But
right.
Definitely got some quick guys. Majority of them are track runners. Well, all of them that'll be starting ran track. So, I worked a lot on hips. Again, we still got time. We still got some development that's needed. But I think we building off of last season and then the work we've put in the spring into now with the speed work and with the footwork in the summer. I think the receivers are going to be developing even during the course of the year. But I think that they're getting better every single day, and I'm excited about that group.
Yeah, they'll get better with your coaching. Are they going to block people too?
They ain't got no choice.
I like that.
And Coach, working with those receivers, that's what you're used to doing.
Yes, sir.
I know your receivers starting to really shine this year for you, 707.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a few of your receivers that you think would be good for Tates Creek.
Gosh, thank you, Gary. Like I love them all, even my young guys, but I definitely think, Keyshawn Doctor is one of the outstanding young men that kind of reminds me of myself. He's a shorter guy. He's not as fast as I was. He's quick. He's quick. Speed-wise, of course, he ain't running 4.2. But, he ran track and he got faster. So I give him a 4.6, you know what I'm saying? But he's very quick, elusive, does a really good job getting up, catching the ball with his hands. I always say, he should make the first guy miss off the line every time. So anytime it's one-on-one, I trust him to go and either beat a guy deep or get off the line and catch the slant. Whatever we need, Keyshawn can do it. Marquavion Smith, another one, smaller guy just like I was, but explosive, has the hands to go out and catch the ball, but also has that speed to break away. So
yeah.
What about your quarterback?
Oh, Andrew's a beast, and one thing I want to say about Andrew is that when I first met Andrew, the first thing that they told me, and this was 2 years ago, is that because I coached his sister, she was part of my state championship track team, and so I had to work on her running. And so her dad said, well, Coach, you might have to work on Andrew too. I said, oh, Lord. So, working on his sister wasn't the easiest thing. I had to get her to learn to start running the right way. And so we took 2 years, and you know what? She gave up volleyball and really focused on her running. So Andrew did the same. He actually gave up basketball this past year just to focus on development with his running. And Andrew became one of the fourth or five fastest guys on the track team this year. And I know a lot of people don't know it, but Andrew went to the state championships this year as a 300 hurdler and got second at the region meet in the 300 hurdles, And so, and heck, at the beginning of the year, he was like 10th. So he's a faster kid now. I trust his legs. I trust his speed. Now I trust his arm, too, because he's been doing a really good job working on his accuracy. So,
excellent.
Coach, what is the number one thing that you have to concern yourself with as a head coach now? You're not an assistant, you're a head coach in track, but you haven't been in football. What thing do you have to focus on now to make sure that you're getting all the results that you want?
Community. And I ain't just talking about the community within football, the community within Tates Creek, ultimately pouring out to the community of Lexington. I think one thing that I've always focused on is that we can give positivity throughout if one area of this town can create positivity, okay, well then let's pour it out to the other parts of the community as well. And I think we got to support each other. I think as coaches, I think as players, I think we ought to learn to be competitive, but I also think we need to learn to be able to start coming together, because at the end of the day, when's the last time a Lexington school won a state championship? And I think in order for us to continue to get to that level where we can do that, we got to start making each other better. So if we got to be competitive as coaches just to get those results, that's fine. But we got to love each other at the end of the day, and it goes back and forth even with the players. We got to do the same thing, teach these guys how to be competitive, but let's do it in the right way.
You're kind of an offensive guy, but let's jump over to defense now. Who's your defensive coordinator, and what are you looking for on defense?
Well, LaShawn Miller, like I say, Florida guy. Speed, speed. We really want to teach our kids to be disciplined. I'm the first thing I did when I took over, I told the defense coordinator, I said, I'm not a defensive guy. I love defense because it wins you championships, but at the end of the day, I need to trust that the defense is doing everything they can to help us win ball games. And so I put all my eggs in the basket on make sure that we got the guys on defense. So he's got a lot of good newly D linemen that I like, speed guys. We want to be good on third downs. We want to try to stuff the run as much as possible. We got some linebackers that can do that. Like I said, at the linebacker spot, you got Logan Julian. He's one of the best linebackers, I believe, in the state of Kentucky, and I even believe beyond Kentucky. But he has to be in a position this year to do that. So that's why we got to be really good with the other 10 guys that we put around him.
Now, last year, Tates Creek, you coached, lost a lot of games by, very few points. Just a few points, and you lost some games you should have won. How do you feel you're going to turn that around this year?
As I keep saying, mentality. I talk about grind mindset, and I say it all the time. It's about there's nothing these kids are going to do that I don't do myself. I tell them all the time, I wake up, my alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning, I go to the gym. I don't want to do it, but I got to look at my age, and I got to look at the fact that I don't make excuses. I'm like, at the end of the day, if I don't make excuses, you don't need it. You don't need to either. So the kids are really starting to buy into that, though. It's no excuses. Let's go out and work, and let your actions show. More than just talking about it.
We talk about goals. You always want to ask coaches what their goals are for this year coming up. Not overall goals, but just goals for this team. Now, a lot of coaches tell you the truth, and then a lot of coaches use the old coach speak. We want to look good. We want to improve every day.
Right.
What do you feel in your heart? What is your goal for this football team? I know your goal is to win a state championship, but what are your other goals?
I'll be honest, my goal isn't even to win a state championship. Even in track, I've never made that a goal of mine. I've always said I'm gonna do what's best for these kids, and so right now, I think the ultimate goal is to bring the families closer. I need the families. That's first and foremost. I need to bring them closer to these kids so that they can support these kids, which ultimately bring in the community to provide more support for them as well. And in the process of doing this, let's improve these young people and make them better citizens and better people on and off the field, so that they can carry the school. I think if our school can be lifted up even more through the positivity that our football program is bringing, I think that doesn't do anything but create more community success. And I'm not just talking about at Tates Creek High, but at the middle school and throughout all the elementary schools around us as well. So,
yeah.
Speaking of Tates Creek High, you got the new school now.
Yes, sir.
So it's like a new dawn there.
Yeah.
A new beginning. Has that excited your players and got your team fired up with the new facilities and everything there?
Yeah.
Or maybe a new beginning?
It has. The hardest thing for us is that we haven't been able to have a locker room all year. We haven't had a weight room all year. So we've kind of had to do things old school down at the stadium, and that's pretty much where we've been all summer. And as a coach, I've been tired because I'm moving everything back and forth trying to do it. But I'm thankful for the soccer coaches because they've been letting me take their soccer rooms and turn them into a weight room / locker room for us. But I've been blessed for the community of coaches we have at Tates Creek that allows me to do that. And so the kids are hungry because they see, we've been given nothing this summer. Our administration and AD have done a great job of supporting, but we haven't had a building. And so that's something else. That's a chip on our shoulder as well. That's kind of like we've been working. We've had no choice but to work, and do it the right way. So they're excited. They're excited, but they're hungry. And I can't wait for them to get in this new locker room because, I've busted my tail to make sure that they got a good one. So hopefully they enjoy it.
How did you look, going back to what Gary actually started out talking about, how did you look in your scrimmage?
We didn't play. We actually did a team scrimmage instead of doing a regular.
That's right. You had an
scrimmage E-Town Friday, right?
We go E-Town Friday. But
that's going to be a tough scrimmage. E-Town's always tough.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be real tough. That's why I enjoyed it. That's why I did it. But now, against each other, the biggest thing for us is teaching each other. I need our kids to learn how to practice. That's what we've been telling. I've been telling the coach because in the past, I've seen even before I came back last year, a lot of times we want to teach toughness, and our kids try to kill each other at practice, right? And so I love it, but we got to learn to keep each other healthy. Yeah. And so we took a lot of time to get our kids to make that first impact, and teaching them how to tackle properly. That's another thing we try to do a lot of, put a lot of emphasis on. But we did a lot of good things. We had a really good running game going. Andrew looked really well throwing the ball. Receivers caught the ball really well. But defense, I'm telling you, they were flying to the ball, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, defense looked really good. So, but again, we're still growing. We're still learning. And so we still got a long way to go, but we want to continue to just keep pushing every day.
Gary, I'm excited about Tates Creek.
I'm excited.
We're excited to watch you. And I'm really, I feel the same way as you do. So, and I always have. I'm really excited to see how you develop these kids as people.
Yep.
And academics and the
Yep.
whole bit, because and Gary does that with his show all the time. He has great athletes come on the show, but he has these kids that he shows their academic standards
right.
and how smart they are and how hard they work in the classroom. And that's what I expect out of Jonathan Hawks this year too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, you'll get that. I mean, that's first and foremost. I don't sugarcoat it. I let everybody know, the discipline, the way these kids carry themselves on and off the field, track, it doesn't matter, That's a representation not only of us as a football program, but of your family, and my job is to make sure that your family is proud, not just of us as coaches, but they can come to a game and realize that their son or daughter has an opportunity to go play at the next level, and that's what we got to create, and it doesn't always have to be in sport.
But you know what you're doing? You're starting inside the head before you're even worried about what they're doing on the field.
That's right.
You're starting in the head, and that's the place to start when you're trying to build a program.
That's right. That's right. They're coming together. We're teaching them how to be player-led. That's one of the biggest things we're doing.
Yep.
So we're doing little things here and there. Again, this weekend, I'm not vocal, but I took all my parents out to eat this weekend because I just want to show them how much they mean to me. And again, without them, we can't do more for our kids. So,
you got to find some way to spend all that big coaching money you got now.
I ain't got no money. I'm scraping right now.
Hey, I got one more question for you. Can you still run the 4.240?
Shoot, no.
Hey, Gary, we got a quick answer that time.
I sure did.
Them hamstrings done.
we're approaching 7:20, Coach Amin, and we're trying to stay on time. And we got a special gift for you, Jayhawk. It's a gift card from Rafferty's right here at Rafferty's Restaurant for you to eat there. I know you said you were hungry, so we sure you you didn't want to partake in any of our appetizers, but we sure are looking forward to the things going on at Tates Creek High School this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
All right, buddy.
Jayhawk, there you go. Take that
yes, sir.
gift card. That's from Rafferty's. That's Jonathan Hawks. I tell you what, he'll do great things at Tates Creek.
I guarantee he will. And I'm really looking forward to it, Gary. I really am.
We appreciate you, Jayhawk. We really do.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's Jonathan Hawks. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have head coach, let's see who we're going to have. Philip Hawkins from Bryan Station will be with us after this break on PrepSpin.com.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people, because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Same MRI, different prices. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60%. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Before cheering on the Cats at Reps, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality. Hello Garage.
Same shoes, same mixer, same computer, same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to Rafferty's Restaurant here in Hamburg. Gary Ball, Mike Meehan, King of Stream, and Jared Peck is in with us too, the Herald leader. We'll talk with him a little bit later. I want to introduce to you Philip Hawkins, the coach at Bryan Station. Coach, I'm hearing good things about the defenders out there on the north side.
Well, you know, we should be heading in a pretty good direction, but we'll never know until, you know, our first game in August.
You never know from one scrimmage either. Don't take anything from that scrimmage. I know LCA's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we scrimmage them. We feel like it'll give us an opportunity to look at some different pieces, and we did some things that we just wanted to see. I mean, that's the purpose of that scrimmage, and we learned a lot about some of our younger kids and some of our transfers, and you know, this week the job is to change that around, fix what we need to fix, and head into another scrimmage for another tune-up.
Are you playing any bowl games this year?
We are. Week 2, we're playing in the Rebel Bowl against Boyle County.
That'll be a good game.
Should be. We hope it is.
And let's talk a little bit about your first scrimmage with LCA. How'd that scrimmage go?
You know, we had some issues in some places, but we expect that. If we walked into that scrimmage and had 0 issues, you know, it'd be tough. And
it will be a scrimmage.
Yeah, so one of the standout things that I took away from it is, you know, we were pretty fast on the whistles with the quarterbacks. And that's all great when you've got a 3-step, 5-step quarterback. But when you've got a running quarterback and you reach out and just touch them on the arm, and, you know, so we didn't get really the look we wanted with Trenton Cutright, but we saw enough to know he's an athlete and can rush, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting you said that. I never thought about that, but when you blow a quick whistle on a running quarterback, you're taking away half of his game or more. And but also the teams you're going to play early in the season, they don't see that either in the scrimmage, so they can't see him run.
Well, the thing is, you know, we do have a different, you know, we've got a true dual threat quarterback. He did make some good decisions and completed some balls. He made a couple bad decisions too, which we expect. He's still growing and learning, but we do know that he is another running back there also. And so we didn't, you know, we don't do a lot in scrimmage 1. You know, one of my coaches asked, everybody in Lexington knows our playbook. I said, no, I think we ran 8 different plays, you know, over and over and over again, just to get an idea and let some of these kids get a feel for a high-level environment, which certainly is with LCA. So, you know, they've got a great football team, and that's Doug Charles does an unbelievable job. And since I took the Bryan Station job, that's been one of our things. I wanted to have that scrimmage with LCA for those kind of reasons. I know they're going to be solid in a lot of spots that I know if I could see some things can help our program. So, I actually felt worse about it Friday night, and then I went back and I called JT Haskins, my defensive coordinator, and said, that wasn't as bad as we thought. I mean, we took a lot of short whistles that would not have been whistles on a Friday night, and I mean a lot of them. And that, I mean, it was literally a finger touch, and they blew the whistle dead. So, I'm excited going into this week's scrimmage just to get a better feel for what we are, and of course, 2 weeks from now we're really going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, by the way, before I say anything else, I coached at Bryan Station for 19 years, and I saw his picture of your new scoreboard on there. Man, I tell you what, that scoreboard, that looks sharp. That thing you had up there before, I was a little worried about that. I think there was a little man up there changing numbers up there.
I'll tell you, there were several times in the last 2 seasons we had to order parts for it in between games. So, when Dermonti Dawson came to visit recently, he told me, he said, that was my old scoreboard. So that thing had been there for a while, and we're excited about the upgrades we have, touched so far this year. In the last 2 years, we got an unbelievable weight room and our locker room, and we want to upgrade the facilities to match, the level we want the program to be. So it was nice seeing that operating for sure.
Well, Coach, when I think of Bryan Station, I always think of great athletes, kids that can run, they can catch a ball, and you got those kids at Bryan Station again this year.
We do. I mean, I knew when I took that position, I knew the one steady fact was that there would be some great athletes walking through that building, and certainly there are, and I think that's added to some of our success, and we still have athletes on our roster this year, and our biggest thing is just figuring out where they all fit, and some have changed a little bit physically, and just finding new roles for everybody, but there's certainly a lot of history of athletes at Bryan Station for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about, can you talk a little bit about your assistant coaches and the people that help you, and maybe a little background?
Yeah, so I feel I've been very vocal about the level of coaching staff that I feel like I have. We have they made me look smart year 1, and they've been, they'll make me look smart year 3, but JT Haskins is my defensive coordinator. He's also my associate head coach, and of course he played at Bryan Station the last time they were in a state championship game, and he played at Louisville and is well thought of in the community.
Played for the Horsemen.
Yes, played for the Horsemen. So, he's got a great connection to the community. And then Jacob Hyde is my D-line coach that played at Kentucky, played deep nose guard and fullback some. And then our Enrique Shaw, we added to the staff this year, was at Lafayette for a long time, Coach Shaw's son, and he played at Michigan State. And then Danny Thomas played at Eastern. He's our safeties coach, and also played for the Cardinals for a couple years in the NFL. And on offense, Harry Lewis, who also played at Louisville with JT, actually played at North Carolina for a year, and he is one of Coach Buchanan's proteges.
Yeah.
I think he played in Maysville.
And he did. He played Mason County, then played for the Horsemen too.
Right. He does a great job. And then our O-line coach is Nigel Wells, who played at Kentucky. He's a Henry Clay kid, and we really like his addition. And then Andy Halloran, who's been with me since the beginning, we've moved him to running backs just to make things work, and sometimes you have to do that on a high school staff, and he's graciously decided to do that for us, and he's doing a good job. And I don't want to leave. Oh, and Cord Sandberg, we hired an interesting new assistant coach. Cord was I want to get this right, the 7A player of the year 2 years in a row in Florida as a football player in high school. And he committed to Mississippi State as a quarterback out of high school, and then was drafted out of high school. So he went to the Phillies for 6 years, was in their organization, then he left the Phillies and went to Auburn and was their tight end and quarterback at Auburn. And then he's found his way to our staff. And, you know, that's a huge addition. He's still in his late 20s, and he connects well to the kids, and he has a lot of new ideas and knowledge. And, you know, we're just super excited about the guys I have on my staff.
Well, you do have a good staff, Coach. I tell you, we heard about Jonathan Hawk's staff at Tates Creek, but it sounds like Coach Hawkins got a great staff at Bryan Station.
It is, and there's a lot of pride. I know that for certain. I live on the north end of town. There's a lot of pride over there in that area, and you've brought a lot of pride in. The one thing they mention a lot is discipline. That you brought some discipline to the program. Yeah,
we set a pretty high bar when we got there, and I think that really triggered the turnaround. You know, the expectations at the bar went from whatever level it was to, you know, something that may be unobtainable, and the kids push and push and push to get to that level of discipline, and you know, that's still something that I work on every day with these kids, and you know, that's what separates championship teams, you know, from the ones that aren't, and so it's a constant practice of ours, and the kids have bought into all that. It's just, you know, they got to follow through with it, and we're still dealing with 17, 18-year-old kids, so you never know. But, you know, the kids have done well with that aspect for sure.
Excellent. Let's go on to your team now. Let's talk a little bit about your offense. Give me a little idea of who you have back. Did you lose anybody that you're going to miss a little bit? Or
yeah, it's sort of interesting. I like going and getting basketball players and turning them into receivers. So last year we had Jamarius Lindsay, who was straight off the basketball court, and he did fairly well for us. And then we had Javon Hurt that transferred in from Douglas that did well for us. So, you know, those are two spots that you may struggle in another year to replace, but because of the athletic ability of some of the kids, you know, we have another basketball player that got his first taste of varsity football Friday night, and he ran wide open all night, but he could not catch a football. And I think a lot of it was, you know, he was just a little bit anxious, new environment. So I think he's going to do a good job helping carry some of that. And you know, we lost two linemen from the offensive line that did a good job for us, you know. But we've had some young guys we've been sort of developing, and so we're not real panicked about the O-line. We just think they need to get some miles under them, and then of course our quarterback's back. Two of our running backs are back. We lost Joey Bond, who was a great kid. I mean, everybody in this town loved Joey, but he had some injury bug things going on last year and it didn't get as many reps. And so we have Jeremiah Mundy Lloyd that transferred to us, who's a big, 6'2" running back. He has not yet practiced with us. He had a little surgery last spring that we're trying to get fixed, and we'll see him soon. But we have a kid named Bennett. Bayou Bahi Bennett is his name. We just call him Bennett. It's a lot easier. But Bennett started to show some ability last year for us, and so now he's trying to take over some of that. And we tried a couple others. Friday night, I think I used 3 or 4 different running backs, and Jason Hocker was as good as any of them. He's a big physical kid with some athletic ability, and we have another kid whose last name's Fogel, Dejair Fogel, that got some reps. So, we planned that scrimmage out that way. Let's see how many people can touch the ball and see how many receivers. We found a couple receivers that caught passes that let us know, okay, there's 2 more guys.
Absolutely.
So, personnel-wise on offense, we lost some key guys, but I think in the end we're going to be pretty comfortable with what we replaced them with.
Coach, have you found a couple of guys that are so talented and so team-oriented that you've already named them a captain of your football team?
We have not. That is something that the team's going to decide for us this year. Part of changing the culture of a program is also creating leadership within. So we've been working with some young kids who are now starting to get into their junior year, senior year for some of them, and they're starting to step up and take some roles. And I think we just let that progression happen. We'll know who the captains are by the time we kick it off, I think.
That's one of the I think one of the most important things on a high school football team is leadership. Teams that lead and teams that love each other seem to do better than other teams.
Yeah, I think I heard once. A good team's led by the coach, a great team's led by its players. So, we're just sort of nurturing that, and the ones that step up and take over that leadership role will, they will have earned it, and I think it's more pure and it lasts a little bit longer. So, right now I couldn't tell you. I just hope they pop up.
Yeah. Let's talk about defense.
Okay.
All right. What do you got?
I don't want to jinx this, but I think JT Haskins does a pretty good job with that defense, and I think that we have enough returners on defense to make that a scary situation. So, JT Haskins Jr. Is returning. He's a safety. He has some offer from Louisville, some other offers. He'll be important for us. Also, Jason Hocker, who's a linebacker with multiple Division I offers. He's going to play a key role for us. Javon and Devon Frazier both have D1 offers. One's an outside linebacker, one's a DN. They're very important in returning starters. And Isaiah Watts, one of our corners, is a very aggressive downhill kid that we love. This will be his third year starting and he's a junior. So that 24 class has got some great ones in it on defense. And then we picked up a couple great kids. Zachariah Dabney was at Henry Clay last year, and so now we've had him since January, and he's starting to find his way. We have a little bit different defense going on than what he's used to, so he's having to adjust a little bit and learn our way. But I think he's going to do great for us. He's sideline to sideline. And then Marshawn Baker Thomas transferred here from Garrett County. I think he was their second leading tackler last year. He's a junior also in that class. So, we feel good about that. We lost a good D lineman, a really good D lineman last year that's going to play at Georgetown College. But I think we had enough depth there that transition's been easy. We did try some new people Friday night. One of them was an offensive lineman, and he looked pretty good as a D lineman. So Gary McCauley, who's been our starting left tackle, he was a grown man at defensive end.
Well, Coach, a lot of people now, they know Bryan Station's a very tough football team. You've been able to come in just a few years. I remember that game that you played Douglas to one point. I think that turned a lot of heads in Lexington football.
Well, I think that was Scott County. I think it was my first game
Scott
was
County.
Against Scott County, and Scott County had their way for 2 decades with Bryan Station.
You're
and
right.
I think the year before it was 57-7. So my phone was buzzing the whole football game because a lot of people didn't think the score was right.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. I'm nervous, new school. I think I've got something. And, I also know Jim McKee's a good friend of mine. He always coaches those guys up. And when it's 6-0 in the third quarter, I'm thinking, well, this is really different than what it's been in past. So I think that game probably let a lot of kids on our team know, okay, we just played with a team, although we lost, which I hate saying a loss is a win, but culturally it was a win because 6-7 lost to Scott County after some horrendous beatdowns over the years. We got a lot of momentum from that. And
Gary, I live in the North End, and so
you do.
The community after that game was talking about your defense.
Yeah,
the people that I ran into, the old Bryan Station people and people that called me ex-players, they said, "Man, they're playing some D over there," and that was really good.
I think that we're going to be playing some D again. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I made an arrangement with JT when I got hired. You keep them to 20. I'll try to get 21, and he has kept them to 14. So, and I think we've averaged 29. So it's worked out well for us, and it's accounted for some wins. But defense may be special this year.
I'm sorry, I thought that was Douglas, but
no, it's okay.
Scott County, same type of breath,
same mentality.
Exactly, same mentality. But I tell you what, Coach, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left here. You have done a great job at Bryan Station High School, and I got to ask you, what's your favorite thing when you come to Rafferty's restaurant?
My favorite thing to eat? Those chicken strips I've been staring at this whole interview. It's going to be mine to eat when I'm finished. No, I'm
kidding.
Here's
a gift card from Rafferty's from us for doing the show. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And good luck this year. Good luck in your scrimmage Friday and your opener against Frederick Douglass. I got that right, didn't I?
You got it. That is going to be a game to watch. It's going to be a great crowd and two good teams and maybe two special defenses. It may be 3-0 by the time that game's over. I mean, their defense is amazing. I think ours is amazing. It's going to be fun.
Coach Peak told me when I talked to him on the phone, he's got 7 kids on defense that are Division I players.
And I think we have 5.
It's not bad at all.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
And thank you for joining us, Coach. We enjoyed it and appreciate it. Here's your gift card from Rafferty's.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
That's Philip Hawkins, coach from Bryan Station Defenders out there in your neck of the woods.
That's right.
And we'll come back. We got Bert Bathiani from Catholic. Get his thoughts. That was Philip Hawkins from Bryan Station. We'll be back on the Prep Spin.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Is your garage a total nightmare? It's time to live the dream with Hello Garage. Imagine pulling into your garage with a beautiful durable floor coating, super strong customized storage and organization. We're talking a total garage makeover, all in just about a day, and all from Hello Garage. Call Hello Garage today for your free estimate and make your dream garage a reality.
Hello Garage.
They say that being a Kentuckian makes you unique. At Whitaker Bank, we agree. We've always been unique. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Kentucky owned, Kentucky based, always has been, always will be. Yeah, you could say we are a unique bank, and we're proud of it. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We know you need banking to be fast and easy. We help with personalized services like mobile deposit. Get the app today and snap, deposit. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Prep Spin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of Prep Spin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson, Sims, and Commode, PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.
And Gary Ball back in the Whitaker Bank broadcast mobile studio. Mike, man, how about that? This thing is nice.
It really is nice, and it's a great place to do these interviews. And this is something we've looked forward to. William has thought about this for years. Really good job.
A good job to do it. Want to introduce to you Coach Bert. Let me say this right. I had it right the first time. Bathiani. I like
Just
the
call
name.
me Coach B.
Coach B. That's
easier.
what I call you on the air when we do your games this
Yep.
year. And if you would, Coach, talk to us about your upcoming schedule this year. Who are you playing?
Well, we open up with Ryle, and we have a unique schedule because last year we were on the road like crazy. And so coming into my first year, I get 7 home games, which is crazy. But we have a tough schedule, very competitive schedule, playing a lot of teams that I think will compete for a state championship. So Ryle, we have first, August 19th at our place. Then we go to our Bluegrass Bowl against Henry Clay. And then we got
I think we got the Ryle and the Henry Clay game here on Preston.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
So we got a great lineup for those weekends. Then we got Cub Cath, which is up near my way where I'm from, so I'm excited to play them. We got PRP, and then I believe we go LCA. And now I'm getting in down the line. I think we go Tate's Creek, and then I think we got a bye week, and then we head into our Boyle week. And then at the end, we end with Anderson County, we got Bourbon County, and we got Scott County. So we got a really good schedule, a lot of good teams. So I'm excited to play. I'm excited to get ready to roll. We're ready to play.
That's exciting. That's a really good schedule.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Right, it's strong all the way through it, from the beginning to the end. Let's talk a little bit about your team this year in general. They lost some players from last year to pretty decent. What do you have coming back that you feel good about?
Well, to be honest, I feel good about our entire roster. I mean, we have so much passion. When you come to a school like Lexington Catholic, the cupboard's never bare. The cupboard is never bare. So we were really fortunate last year to have a ton of really good offensive linemen, right? Like Quentin Duffy, Jake Nash, and we're replacing them with a lot of guys who are still extremely talented. They just don't have the reps and the recognition maybe as those guys did in the past. So what I've always said my entire coaching career is whenever you lose good players, it's always an opportunity for new good players to come in and then and take over that role. So I'm excited about that. We got a really, really good backfield. Walker Hall leads the way, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Blake Foster's another senior who's going to get the rock a lot. And then Max Morin was another guy who played a lot last year who I think can provide a lot of touches out of the backfield as a receiver and then also carrying it. And then Johnny Moses has been a guy who's made a lot of plays as well. So I think that's kind of been like the core of our offense so far. And then we got a ton of skill on the outside and Max DeGraff, Tanner Pedrochi, Hunter Foster, Sam Clemens, Max Bertrand. So a lot of guys I think can actually help our quarterback out quite a bit.
Well, Coach, we absolutely loved Jack Goldman last year and the last couple of years. He was such a leader, replacing Bo Allen, the great quarterback at Catholic, who's now transferred from University of Kentucky. So I know your quarterback is a big position this year. I've been hearing things about Bennington and another kid you got back there. So who do you think will win that job this year?
Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail for obvious reasons, but we've had quite a good competition. We started off with 5 guys competing for the starting spot back in the spring, and we've whittled that down to a handful of guys now, and I won't really go into too much detail from that, but I can tell you it's been a major competition between the guys. And every day it seems like one guy is ahead and then the other guy falls back. So it's been really good for those guys to compete for that starting spot. And just to be clear, I feel confident with any one of them taking the reins and leading us to victory. So it really is a great problem for me to have. But whoever ends up winning the job, they definitely earned it.
Well, Gary and I, in Preston, we've done a lot of Catholic games over the years, and Gary knows this. Years ago, I started complaining about one thing, and that is they take the ball down the field, they get 4 downs inside the 4, and they get down to the 1 yard line against a really good defense, and they can't punch it in.
No more, Coach.
No more.
No more.
We started talking about Walker Hall a long time back because I thought
he's a stud.
He's the guy that can maybe do that, take you over that one last hurdle.
He runs with an attitude. There's no doubt about it. Like, he runs with an attitude. And he's one of the guys, like, if you walk into our weight room, you see him and you go, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Right? And like Blake Foster, who's that
Chisel.
guy? Like, those guys look the part. You can tell that they put the time in, and then they give max effort out on the field as well. So, no, like you said, Walker, I mean, he is a downhill runner, but that's just not his that's not just who he is. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And I think with guys like Walker, as a former defender in college, I hated tackling those guys because he was shifty enough to make you miss too. So now you come and meet that guy in the hole and you're expected to make the tackle, and he might run you over, he could cut, he could do all kinds of things. So it really puts you in a bind, and I think that's his skill set that really makes him special.
Cool. Well, let's talk about defense a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you an offensive-minded guy, or are you a defense?
Well, I grew up playing defense. I've been on defense quite a bit, but being the head coach, I have my hand in both. So we'll be kind of going back and forth on a lot of that. So just kind of taking over reins everywhere.
Okay, but what about your defense? People, you're counting on to lead, good linebacker situation, okay?
Kendon Mackley's a good player, Coach. We saw him the last year or so, and he's got, I tell you, he got some good secondary players too.
Yeah. Well, we were, I would say we had a lot of youth on the defense last year, and I think those reps are going to pay dividends this year. And Dave Nuremberg is our defensive coordinator. He was our athletic director, and he's doing a phenomenal job. And I think when you watch our defense, it's unique for a reason, because we want people to have to prepare for it. So you don't know where guys are coming from, and it's a unique look. But I think we have a lot of speed in the back end. And I would say you're right, our linebacking core is something that's pretty special. We have a handful of guys that I think can plug and play at all 3 of those spots. And you mentioned Kendon Mackley. And one of the things that we talk about on our football team all the time is effort, 4 to 6, A to B. And Kendon Mackley doesn't know how to turn it off. He just doesn't. He is go, go, go all the time. He's starting to tackle. He's starting a defensive line. And the same can be said for one of our younger players, Thomas Gerke, who is like a Kendon Mackley clone. Like those two playing together, it's a fearsome twosome.
Always had good kicking game. Was that still pretty strong?
With DeGraff, yeah.
Yep. Max DeGraff is a special player. You could play him in a variety of different spots. He's going to kick it. He's going to kick field goals. He's going to do punts. He's a really dynamic receiver. He's a really dynamic defensive back.
I know, and he won the game against Southwestern with that 47-yarder at the buzzer. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And people don't notice he can tackle. He can tackle. He
can also quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a good arm too. I think we had a trick play with him last year, but he really can do it all. He's a good athlete. I remember when I first got the job, I'm watching a baseball game and we hit, a tough play to our second baseman, and this kid just picks it up calmly and rips it to first. I'm like, who is that? Like, that's Max. I'm like, oh, that's our kicker? Okay, yeah. He's a good athlete.
Yeah,
so,
that's fun.
I mean, he's just, he could play so many different spots, and he'll be a kicker in college.
Yeah.
Like, that's where he'll be. But he's an athlete, and I think that's what's so cool is for colleges who are recruiting him, you're going to have a guy who has ice in his veins, and he's not going to get too rattled in certain moments.
A little bit about your assistant coaches and how you feel about.
So like I said, David Nuremberg is our defensive coordinator. He's also our athletic director. He's the guy who hired me. So unique situation there, but he's doing a phenomenal job on defense. We brought back Jag Saunders, who coached receivers at Catholic for a number of years. He's come back to work on our secondary. And then we have 2 linebacker coaches. One is named Mike Fetterspiel, who I knew from Western Kentucky. And his dad is the Fetterspiel that's in the Ring of Fame at Kentucky.
Yeah, and also played for the Saints.
Joe.
So, and his nephew is Joe Schlarman. So I knew Mike from when I was a graduate assistant at West Kentucky. So that was that connection there. But he's coaching our outside backers. And then Matt Brown, who has coached a number of high schools in the local area, coached at Campbellsville. He's coaching our inside linebackers. And then our defensive line coach is our strength coach, Ron Kelly.
Yeah.
And he's been at Catholic for about 17 years. So that's our defensive staff. On offense, that's where I'll reside over there. Then we have Jay Johnson coaching our wide receivers. And he was with us last year, and he was a phenomenal player in college. He played at Bluffton University, had a cup of coffee with the NFL after his playing days were over. And then our offensive line is this tandem of a bunch of guys where you have Mason Wolf, who played O-line at Kentucky. We have Zach West, who played line at Kentucky. And then Jake McCullough, who is one of our teachers at Lexington Catholic. He played O-line at Trinity. And then Daniel Bolin is our head freshman coach. He'll be coaching our running backs. And then Will Osborne is new to our staff. He's a Lexington Catholic alum. He was on one of the state championship teams, I believe the 07 one, and played our rover position way back when. But he's come on our advancement team, and now he's helping coach our freshmen as well. And then J.J. Housley's helping out with our kickers. He was a kicker for Kentucky, so he is in Max DeGraff's ear all the time and working with him. So a lot of Max's success you can attribute to J.J.
Zach West played at LCA.
Yeah, we don't talk about that when he's over at Catholic.
No. My point was I was coaching over there at the time.
Yep.
Smart guy, really a smart offensive lineman. You know, that's one of those guys, he's not only going to teach the physical part, but he's going to say, no, wait a minute. You got to do this. You got to do it right. Your feet have got to be right. Your steps have got to be right.
Yeah.
Really great. What a good staff.
Well, and he's a technician, too. He really is. So, I mean, you talk about two guys that were in the trenches for the Wildcats for a number of years. So there's definitely that nastiness being built. There's definitely that toughness being built. And we're going to build it inside and out. There's no doubt. Like, we're going to put a huge emphasis in our strength and conditioning program. And I think we have the best strength coach in the state of Kentucky and Ron Kelly. And then you add our D-line coach, our O-line coaches. Those guys are getting coached up at a high level.
Well, you know, leadership starts at the top, and obviously you're a good leader. But also it starts with your players. And I know you'll name captains. Have you named them? You're going to name them later after the scrimmages or before the first game? And how will you go about that, naming your captains? Because that's so important.
It is important. I think when you have a really good team, it's when the players take control and they're speaking the same language as the coaches. So we have our culture and we have our buzzwords that we say all the time, right? 11 hats, compete, Kaizen, and Butu, and we define them and we talk about those. And then when you overhear your players start talking about it when you're not around, right, and you just overhear it, that's when I think that leadership really starts to flourish and grow. We're going to do captains differently, and I stole this idea from Tiffin University. We make our guys apply for it. So I have a Google Forms application. I sent it out actually over the weekend, and they have to apply. They have to answer questions, and then our coaches are going to pick from that menu of players who gets to represent themselves in front of the team, and they will get their chance to talk to the team and tell them why they deserve to be considered a captain, and then our players will vote on those players from there. So it is our players voting without question, but it's a unique way to do it, which I think I like because I want guys to kind of think about it a little bit more and express themselves.
Well, Coach, man, you know he reminds me of is Dale Mueller, a guy that I know from Highlands. He played at Highlands, Coach did. And you remind me of Dale, with all that enthusiasm, you know, Dale had that, and you have it too. I think that is infectious and carries over to your team. I really do.
That's a major compliment to compare me to one of my mentors. I've been fortunate enough to be around the best coaches in the game between Dale Mueller, Chris Oliver over at Georgetown. I mean, I was his first graduate assistant over there, and we're really, really close. Jack Hayden at Denison University and Chris Reiser at Tiffin University. I mean, I've just been really, really blessed and fortunate to be around some of the best in the business. And everything you see in our program is just stolen from all those guys. So if you come to our practice and hear us talk, and you've been around any of those guys, you'll see some similarities.
And I want to say this before you go, Coach, but this past Saturday night, William helped me out. William was part of it. Victory night was a great night at Lexington. The weather didn't really cooperate.
Nope.
But you guys certainly did put on a great show.
Yep. You have to adapt and adjust. So my wife was helping us with that, and then Stephanie Nurnberg, our athletic director's wife, was in charge of that. And that was an idea we once again we stole it from Tiffin. And they've been doing it for a number of years, and they stole it from someone else. But that came popular in Trenton, Michigan, and there's a great story about it. So if anyone wants to, I won't bore you with it. But if you Google Victory Day in Trenton, Michigan, you'll get the whole story. But we invited a bunch of families with children with special needs to come be a night, and they get to have their moment as a Lexington Catholic football player, and it was awesome. It really was. We had a really cool moment. There was one young boy who didn't want to do the mock touchdown because everyone would cheer and it'd be too loud, so everyone was quiet. And we go in the gym and it's dead silent, and all you hear are the sneakers squeaking on the floor as he's running for a touchdown. We all hold our hands up and give spirit fingers, and it was a really magical moment. It was really special.
That's
that our guys
fantastic.
enjoyed it.
That tugs in my heart.
Well, you did the Miracle League. You do that every year, Coach.
Yeah, I've been involved in Miracle League for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing what
really
you can give and what they give back to you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we do it for them, and it's amazing. And I talked to our players about it today and just thanked them and said, like, you guys created a moment that will last a lifetime for these families and these kids, and you have no idea what your impact can do for them. We just can't fathom it.
Yeah,
and I hope our guys understand how much of an impact they really did have. And we'll be doing it every year. So I hope we make it bigger and better and keep touching the community.
We got a couple minutes left, so I want to ask you, Coach, do your best Dale Mueller impression.
My best Dale Mueller impression. That's phenomenal. That's about as good as I can do.
That's pretty good, though,
That
Coach.
was pretty good. But
is there anything we haven't talked about at Lexington Catholic that you want to talk about?
I just think we have a great football program. We have great players. We have a huge support system with our parents, awesome administration.
Yes.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So
your parents do a great job.
They're awesome, and
we know.
I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it. Humbled to be a part of it. So
Presspen's honored to be part of it too. I'll give you a little bit of my background. I started working at the Catholic station, 1080, about 20 years ago, and I did just Catholic games. Lexington Catholic, all the games, and then I I got hired by WLAP and started doing the scoreboard show statewide, and then I got hired at VLK, and that's where Coach joined me. We were there for 12 years, and I do the ball report also on Channel 27, so we'll get you on there too.
Yeah.
Also, we got a gift card for you for Rafferty's. Right here you go.
Yeah, thanks.
It's money. You can have lunch on
I
us.
appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Anything else, Coach?
No, I'm just really happy to get to meet you and talk to you, and we're going to enjoy doing games at Lexington Catholic, and
we'll be there for Ryle next week.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm glad you guys are a part of it. The more the merrier, so it's awesome.
Thank you. It's Coach, let me get his name right, Bert Bathiani.
Bathiani, you got it.
From Lexington Catholic. Coach B from Lexington Catholic. We'll come back. We've got Demetrius Gay. He's head coach at Henry Clay High School. We'll round out the night with the Nathan McPeak from Douglas. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks, guys. God bless.
Thank you.
Back on Presspen after this.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by U.S. News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Before cheering on the Cats at Rep, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality.
Hello Garage.
Same shoes, same mixer, same computer, same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Is your garage a total nightmare? It's time to live the dream with Hello Garage. Imagine pulling into your garage with a beautiful durable floor coating, super strong customized storage and organization. We're talking a total garage makeover, all in just about a day, and all from Hello Garage. Call Hello Garage today for your free estimate and make your dream garage a reality.
Hello Garage.
To the Whitaker Bank broadcast studio outside of Rafferty's. I'm Gary Ball with Mike Meehan and the King of Stream, William Warfield. And joining us now, Demetrius Gay. He's the coach at Henry Clay High School. Demetrius, welcome into the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
You got a good football team this year. You got a good team last year. You felt like your record would have been much better had you won some of those close ball games.
Right. You know, we was in if you go and look lot of the games we were in, and just couldn't put two halves together. You know, we'd come out hot and go cold in the second half, or the first half would come out cold and burn it up in the second half. So, we're working on putting both halves together.
What's your schedule look like this year at Henry Clay?
It's tough. It's real tough. We open up with Connor, then we play Lexington Catholic. Then we got Douglas and Taste Creek, and we've got all the city schools, and we also play LCA.
We'll be doing that Lexington Catholic game in the Bluegrass Bowl in Prep Spin, and we got you again later on. But we'll try to we got William to tell us about that agreement we got with Fayette County Public Schools this year. I know you're happy about that.
Right. It's another avenue for us. For the kids to have film. So it's always good to have that.
And what we like to do too is what sets us apart is we'll talk about the kids, give some good press to them as far as academics, etc. Anything that they do special, in the school or whatever, and that way that kind of helps their reputation and their look for the next level or college or whatever.
And, that's one of the things I talk to the kids about every day. Is at next level. If you want to go to that next level, you got to have that education. And this senior group, I've got some smart kids. I mean, I've got some kids with 31s, 32 ACT scores.
Wow,
that's good. Yeah,
they're very smart kids.
And you got a Van Horn, a quarterback. He's back for you. He had experience last year, and he should be a really solid player this year.
Yeah, real solid player. He's actually he's got sophomore year. He had started a couple games.
Okay.
And then going into the last year, we had him at the full-time starter, and then this year, we're banking on him to lead us.
Can you talk a little bit about your your assistant coaches? Because the strength, a lot of that comes from your help.
Right. Yeah, my coaches, they're doing a great job. A lot of the guys we got on staff has been around for a while. Some former players, of mine, have come back to coach. And a lot of the old guys I've got. Barnett, who's been around for a while. Marty Parks, he's been around with us as well.
What about the old line coach, Marty Joyce? He's still around, or is he hang it up?
He hung it up, but he drops by every now and then in practice.
And gives us some insight. That's good.
And actually, the two guys I've got doing offensive line play for Coach Joyce, so they communicate with him every now and then about different schemes and things that could help us out.
Now, did you replace Sam Simpson?
Yes, I did.
And what was it like replacing, hate to say a legend, but a legend like Sam Simpson?
It was tough, but I was on the staff with him for
I remember you in the locker room. You remember me coming in the locker room?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's hard to replace a guy like that, but I want to put my stamp on things.
Now, you played at Henry Clay yourself.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. And
back in the day.
Back in the mid-90s.
Mid-90s, yeah. And that's good to come home like that. How did that feel? I mean, that had to make you feel really good.
Well, it felt great. Actually, when I got out of college, I went straight back to Henry Clay. And started back in 01 coaching. And it feels good. It's pride.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like with some of my coaches. They also former Blue Devils, so it's all about pride.
What happened to David Buchanan?
He's a teacher now. He actually he got hired at Taste Creek. He was working at Henry Clay. He was one of our ESL teachers, but he's still around. He comes to talk to me every now and then about football.
He was a good player.
He was a great player. Real great player.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about your team. First of all, who do you have coming back from last year that you like? But also, who did you lose? What did you feel like you've lost coming into this year?
This year we returned a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball. A lot. Majority of our skilled guys are back. A couple offensive linemen are back. We lost a lot on the defensive side of the ball. Some kids transferred out, some kids to graduation. So we did get some kids back that were injured that didn't play, so we got a couple of those guys back. So the defensive side of the ball is where we look to improve, as far as talent and things.
Do you feel that you're now in your fourth year?
Third year.
That maybe it's time now for the team to develop like you thought it would. You've had time to get them into place and to do everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, the good thing that we've done, since I've started is a lot of our young guys have got playing time. So a lot of our skilled guys are young guys, but they're seasoned now. They've got some games under their belt. So we're looking for those guys to step up for us this year.
Let's start on offense. Talk a little bit about offensive line, because I think that's where it all starts anyway. So.
Always starts up front. Yeah. Always. We got a guy, guard coming back, offensive guard, kind of, playing the guard at center this year. Is James Vanderpool. He's our nasty guy. He's the one that's driving guys downfield. We look for him to anchor that offensive line. We got an offensive tackle back named Grady Phillips, a big guy. He's about 6'2", 6'3". He's about 290. We got a kid that we got from lacrosse. Real nice sized kid. He's probably about 6'3". He's probably about 240, 250. Then I think, we might have a freshman that have to step up and play this year.
Oh, nice.
So, you getting those young guys, those reps in camp and get them game rep, they're ready, by their sophomore, junior year. Yeah. Skill-wise, of course, we got Blake Van Horn back at the quarterback. We got two real good running backs back in Jacob Childers and Jaden Bailey. Offensive guys, we got our tight end back. His name's Landon Burntine. Actually, our number one receiver's back as well. His name's Walden Cole.
I remember
he's
him,
a baseball
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a real physical guy. He's put together kind of kid. We also have Blake's younger brother as well, Hayden Van Horn. He's played out wide, sometimes in the slot. We got another kid named Malcolm Paul. It's kind of our Mr. Do-It-All. We play him at quarterback. We put him in the slot. We do a couple of things with him. But that's the offensive side of the ball.
Well, tell me a little bit about these running backs you have. Are they power backs, speed backs, what?
Well, Jacob's more of a power back, downhill guy, and Jaden's more of an in-between, kind of a scat guy. We can get him on the edge, and he can get in between the tackles and break out. Jaden's also a baseball guy, so he's got real good vision and things.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes a difference.
It makes a real big difference.
You open up with Connor.
Yeah.
They're a good school out of Boone County.
Right.
So open up with Connor, then play Lexington Catholic.
Right.
Then you play Great Crossing. You got a pretty tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule. I tell the guys, we don't want no cupcakes. We want to be a good team. You got to play good teams. And, I think the schedule we have, we've got a lot of great teams on our schedule. So we're hoping to go in and win a few games. Putting both halves together.
That'd be good. Yeah, that's a key too for that team. All right, let's go defensive side of the ball. Tell me what you think.
It starts up front. We got Kyan, Miller. He's back his second year playing. He just committed to Austin P this year, not last week, I think. So we got him back up front. We got a couple inside linebackers. Walden, who's also a receiver. He's going to step over in the linebacker position and play some. Got a couple new guys on the outside linebacker. We got Donovan Cowan, who actually played O-line for us last year. We kind of shot up. He's gotten taller, so and he's thinned out. So we had to play him at outside linebacker. We got another kid named Henry. He's gonna play outside linebacker. Defensive back. We've got a kid named Skyler. We think he's gonna help us. Real shifty kid. He's got a little bit of speed on him. We've got one of our safeties, real smart kid. He's about 31, 32 on his ACT. He was hurt last year, so we got him back. It's Aiden Hanna. That's.
What about your numbers? You have
we range about 60 to 75 kids. A lot of freshmen. We got, I think, almost 30 freshmen.
Oh, that's good.
But as well as I do, Coach K, special teams.
Yeah.
Are real special. How about your specialty, your kicking game, your return game? How's that looking?
We lost a real good kicker. In Sergey, he's I think he ended up going to Fairstown State, somewhere like that. But we lost him, so we got to replace him. We went to our soccer team, try to find a couple kids off the soccer team to help.
Might have a good kicker on that team.
I think we might have a kid that's going to come in and help us out as far as helping us with kickoffs and extra points and things. And then my punter's going to be Blake. He's got a real strong leg. He don't look like it, but he can boot that thing. We worked on a little bit of special teams today, and he booted one. I mean, it went forever.
All right. What about goals? What are your, we ask every coach that comes in here, what are your goals for your team this year?
course, the number one is to win, you know, and I think our number one goal is to be able to put two halves together and finish games. I think if we can get that, you know, we can win a lot of games.
Good. You know, Gary, I'm getting really excited about these teams. This is one for sure. Henry Clay.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, Henry Clay.
We'll be doing that Rao game, and you know.
Yeah. Well, we got.
The Lexington Catholic game. I'm sorry, Lexington Catholic.
I mean, you can't look at our record from last 2 years. I mean, you know, we've gotten better. You know, because a lot of our guys, like I said, has gotten playing time. So.
And that's, as a coach, that's what you want. You want the team to get better every game.
Yeah.
And if you feel you done that, you're going to have a successful season. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you want to talk about, Coach K?
Not really. I just, you know, I'm glad we got Prep Spin on our side now.
Yeah, yeah. We're glad to be on your side. That's for sure.
Real quickly, you're going to be hearing from me the week before we play. Every time, anytime you play, I do what's called the UFO Award. It's Unheralded Football Overachiever. So I'm going to contact you probably with the email first, and then call if I need to, for you to give me the name and some information on somebody in your program. It can be a janitor, it could be a player, it could be an administrator, it could be anybody who goes up above and beyond for the program, but never gets any credit for what they do.
Coach, he had one guy one year, the kid had actually died, hadn't he?
Yeah, got hit by lightning, was killed, and then came back and was a manager on a team. And just so we've had all kinds. So I'll be contacting you for that.
Coach, when you come out here to Rafferty's, what's the favorite thing you like?
It's funny you say that. My wife just called me and said, "You going up there? I need one of those salads."
Okay, salad.
So
we got a gift card from you from Rafferty's. You can get that big salad for your wife. We thank you very much for coming on the show, and we're looking forward to covering Henry Clay this year.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you all.
All right.
That's Demetrius Gay from Henry Clay High School. We'll come back. Nathan McPeak will join us from Frederick Douglass, and we will return on the Prep Spin Preview Show from the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Mobile Studio outside of Rafferty's.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We know you need banking to be fast and easy. We help with personalized services like mobile deposit. Get the app today and snap, deposit. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Prep Spin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of Prep Spin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson, Sims & Commode, PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report. celebrating 20 years on TV.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people, because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Before cheering on the Cats at Rep, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality.
Hello Garage.
Same shoes, same mixer, same computer, same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
And welcome back to the Whitaker Bank mobile broadcast studio. We're outside of Rafferty's Restaurant. Rafferty's, the show, the special, and everything is always you. With us is Nathan McPeak, the head coach of Frederick Douglass. He's with us, and Coach Meehan and King of Stream is with us, and Jared Peck from the Herald Leader. Coach, welcome into the Prep Spin preview show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a great idea, and appreciate what you guys do for all the athletes in Central Kentucky and all the great coverage you all do.
Talk about your upcoming schedule this year, your 2022 schedule.
Well, we'll scrimmage on our next scrimmage Friday is at St. X. Louisville St. X was obviously the 6A state champions. The reason I schedule that game is honestly see where we're at for weaknesses. That'll be 3 quarters is like a normal game, and the 4th quarter is our younger guys. Then obviously we'll start at home with Bryan Station, which Coach Hawkins has done a great job with their program, and they have a lot of good athletes. And during that game, you're going to see a lot of speed. You're going to see a lot of college talent in that game on both sides of the ball, but especially defensively. Then we'll get into the rest of our city opponents. I know Coach Hawks is going to do great things at Tates Creek, and Coach Lawson at Lafayette. Coach Johnson does a good job at Dunbar, then Coach Gay at Henry Clay. So we'll get all those games, and then obviously get into our schedule with our districts of our district opponents, and then we'll go to Boyle to finish the season.
Do you take anything from the Lexington Catholic scrimmage? And I'm sure you learned something about your team, but what do you take from that scrimmage?
Yeah, I thought our kids, were energized. They had good energy, but when you watch the tape, there was a lot of errors, and it's early. We have a lot of talent on our team, but we're still trying to figure out, some certain things and depth pieces. But when you go back and look at what we're capable of, it wasn't the best, and our kids know that. We've watched a lot of film the last couple of days and try to get those corrections. But obviously you want to continue to improve and get better and play your best football in November.
Right.
That's real motivation for your players and your coaches to not have a perfect scrimmage, to actually see things you need to work on. That brings me to my next question. Tell me a little bit about your assistant coaches, because I know how important that is.
Yeah, our staff is excellent. We've had some staff turnover since the state championship game, last year, and just some guys maybe getting advancement in the profession. But our defensive coordinator Jeff Poe is outstanding. He's elite. Our defense gave up 8.8 points a game a year ago. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to in the state championship. We had a lot of errors defensively that give South Warren credit for that, but he does a great job. Coach John Gillum is going to be our inside backers, which a lot of guys know him from Morehead State days. He was the head coach at West Jessamine and Boyd County and been a long-time coach. Our outside backer special teams coordinator is Will Catron, been with us every year at Douglas along with Coach Poe. And then Coach Lanning is going to be our DB coach that played at EKU for Dean Hood. He's new to the staff. On offense, I'm not calling the plays anymore. I didn't last year. It was the first time that I haven't done it in a long time, but I trust Evander Harris, our offensive coordinator. He's been with us every year at Douglas. Does a great job, building our offensive system, and does our wide receivers. Jimmy Skinner, which I played with at Marshall, he played quarterback. He was an OC for 10 years at Madison Southern. He does a really good job up in the press box of relaying information down to us for offense. And then our running backs coach, I just hired as Taylor Peoples, played at center, and then I still coach O-line. And then I have 3 coaches, Coach Pat, Coach Collins, and Devin Daniel, which played at G-Town. That's with our freshmen. So we split staff. We're blessed to have numbers at Douglas, so a lot of guys play one way like college. We go 4 guys on offense, 4 guys on defense, and 3 with our freshmen.
Coach, you told me that obviously you're going to hang your hat on defense this year, because you got 7 Division I players. I think Coach Hawkins at Bryan Station said he's got maybe 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. So on that note, early on, defense will probably be your standard. You'll set the pace for the game with that. Tell us about I know Ty Bryant's back there. Yep. Your defensive line's really strong.
Yeah, obviously, I'm an offensive lineman at heart. Still coach it. You have to have good line play to win football games. So it's really important in our program. We put it at the forefront to make sure all of our kids know how important those positions are. Our defensive line is I know because we've had to go against it all camp long. They're hard to move. Jalen Hand's going to Western, committed to Western, and Jamarion Harkless is committed to Illinois, but has offers from all over the country. And then we have very fast defensive ends. Our inside linebackers are big and strong and experienced. And obviously all of our secondary has offers across the country. Both corners have Michigan and Northwestern offers, and then Ty's going to Kentucky, obviously, and then Isaiah Kinney is, I think he's a group of 5 talent. Hopefully that works out for him as well. So, and they played a lot of football. I mean, Ty's basically going to be a 5-year starter using Senate Bill 128 because he played a lot as a true freshman. He's played over 40 high school games. Isaiah's played over 40 high school games. So very experienced on the back end, and that's going to have to be our calling card as we figure out some things offensively.
If before the season starts, if somebody would have said to you, who did you lose last year, whether it's graduation or whatever, that you feel like it's going to be a little tougher to replace that person?
Dan Key. He's probably going to go start at Kentucky as a true freshman.
Yeah.
He's been running with the ones quite a bit through spring, so you can't replace that guy, just like you can't replace Jagger and Walker on the O-line. They're great kids, but they work really hard. They understand the game. And obviously the quarterback, Samuel's a really good player. He went to Western Carolina. I think talent-wise, he could have went a lot of places in the country, but with the portal and the way quarterback recruiting is right now, it's very difficult, as you guys know. So, he's found a home at Western. So anytime you lose those 2 guys, they're hard to replace. I feel like we have a lot of talent offensively. It's just trying to piece together kind of what that looks like.
Coach, another kid that we really haven't talked about, Cooper Ranvier.
Yep.
I tell you, that kid's a special kicker, and he's a good athlete. It's going to be hard to keep him off the field.
Yeah, right now he's rolling with our 2s at wide receiver, and he caught a touchdown pass against Lexington Catholic. It's a great play, and he's one of our best soccer players. They open up with Dunbar tomorrow. I try to work with Cooper on, hey, man, you can go to soccer here on these days. And he's like, well, I want to try to play receiver. And, but he's one of our hardest workers. He loves the weight room. He looks the part when you look at him. He looks great. And he's going to be a Division I kicker. I think he's rated like 2nd or 3rd in the country in the 24 class. It's just a matter of scholarships and what schools have available. But, I've had several SEC coaches tell me that, he's the best kicker they've seen in the 24 class. So very blessed there, and he works really hard.
You have more than just a couple 2-sport athletes on that team. I know Ty Bryan is a wonderful baseball player, and his papa was a heck of an athlete himself.
Yeah, he's Cisco was a great athlete, and Ty's a great athlete, really good at baseball as well. And we have a lot of baseball guys that play football and vice versa, and that's great. I love multi-sport athletes, and them being able to do those things are important to us. So, we have some guys that play basketball. Several guys. I think maybe 8 to 10 guys will probably be on Coach Mosley's basketball team. So, we share them all, and I think that's great. I think it's awesome for kids to do that. I was a multi-sport athlete myself, so I think it's always great. And you're right. It's something pretty common at our place.
Coach,
real quick, I know you really appreciate that too, because Gary has the Scholastic Ball Report, and he loves to get those multi-sport athletes on there. Mm-hmm. Talk about their they're always strong academically too. These people to pay more than
minimum's a 3.4.
Sure. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, sir.
Another thing, Coach, you got a strong administration.
Yep.
It starts with Diaz, the principal there. He gives a lot of support to what you need, what the other sports programs need. That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, we have a great administration with, him and Coach Harmon, obviously. They want to be great in academics and have a great culture at school, but they also understand, because they've been in my shoes as a coach, they understand how important that is as well. So, we definitely have a great administration that supports. And, the first time I met Coach Harmon, he coached me in the Kentucky-Tennessee All-Star game in 2000. It's just funny how all those connections, and my uncle with the Horsemen, and how that the coaching communities, as you guys know, is really not that big. It's a small knit, really circle for that. So, and it's just kind of funny, his boy plays for me now, Coach Harmon's son, Austin.
Oh, wow.
So, he's going to be a sophomore. He plays offensive line, so I get to coach him every day. So that's pretty neat and pretty cool.
We were talking previously to Coach Bethian from Catholic, and he talked about, Gary reminded us all that he played at Highlands, and he's a Highlands guy. I've always had a lot of respect for Marshall University because I think they have just always have had the right attitude about things and a lot of support and so on. Tell me a little bit about your background at Marshall.
Well, I'm from Eastern Kentucky, small area where my wife's family's from, my family's from, so Marshall wasn't too far from where I grew up. That was important for me. I got recruited out of high school by a lot of good universities, but I chose Marshall because obviously they were good. I knew the background story, and then I wanted people to be able to come see me play. And I was lucky enough, including high school, and I'm very proud of this, as an offensive lineman, I started 92 straight football games.
Oh, wow.
I started as a sophomore through senior in high school, and then I started every game in college. So I played for Coach Bob Pruitt.
Coach?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Weren't you one of the guys that carried Byron Leftwich down the field when his leg was messed up and he's still quarterback? You were one of the linemen carrying him? Did you know that, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't know he was one of them, no, but I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But, that was obviously a iconic moment as well. But, one thing that I knew I wanted to go in to being a coach at a pretty young age. I knew that's kind of what I wanted to do. I come from a football family, and so I always took stuff that even as a player that I knew I wanted to bring as a coach. So I took a lot from my coaches. Coach Pruitt was, phenomenal, and what I took from him is, just that competitive nature of winning. And I've been blessed through my career to, be on the positive side of a lot of games. And I think that has a lot to do with who I played for, how you do things the right way. Obviously, you never stop growing, you never stop learning, but, obviously you have to have good players. But at the end of the day, I felt like I learned a lot through Ivan McGlone at Russell, which has now passed away, longtime coach there, and Coach Pruitt on just how to win in the process of winning.
Coach, I got the opportunity to call the state championships last year with the KHSA. I got to call the Douglas South Warren game, and I turned to Freddie Maggard late in the game, and I said, Freddie, you think that Douglas will win a state championship? And everybody loves Freddie. I know you know Freddie. And he said, absolutely. So I think it's just a matter of time because all the pieces are there for Douglas that you're going to win a state championship.
Yeah, and obviously, we're at that point in our program, and I want to take that pressure on, not the kids, because I'm obviously the head coach, and we haven't got the job done. We've obviously had an opportunity to be there twice. Really had a chance to be there 3 years in a row during the COVID year at Owensboro. Had a chance to win the game, But at the end of the day, we haven't performed in that game. Obviously you're playing good teams, and they're not there if they're not. So, but just some of the errors that we made in that game is really unconventional for us in a lot of ways, especially this past year. But you can't simulate that game. You can't simulate it. On playoff games at home or on the road. It's just a different environment, and you just hope that you can get yourself set up, to get there every year, or at least have an opportunity to do it. But every year's a fresh start. Obviously that's the expectation for us. We know that, we understand that. Pressure makes diamonds. So it's a pressure-packed program.
That's right.
And I'm honest about the kids and the coaches. It is what it is. Not everybody can coach in it. Not everybody can play in it.
Nope.
And it is that type of program. And credit to a lot of people. Coach Landis started it, and I've tried to continue on the tradition. And I've been here every year since the first brick was laid at our school. So hopefully we can get ourselves set up to be able to be back in that game at some point. Hopefully this year, and maybe we'll play better and win it. But the more consistently that you can, be in that top echelon of a program.
Keep knocking on the door.
Correct. And, I know that's, at the end of the day, we want that result, but it's also a day-to-day process.
Yeah.
Well, the McPeak family has a name in football.
Yes, sir.
I know for sure.
Yes, sir.
When I was coaching the LCA, we went up to Raceland to play, or Fairview.
Yep.
A couple Fairview, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And there's that McPeak name again.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
You contact with what you got, an uncle?
My uncle, and my grandfather that passed away about a year ago. He was a long time high school official. He was a white hat. He actually started our youth league back home in Russell back in the 60s in our JFL program. And my dad never really got into coaching a whole lot, but, he was at every game and, loves football. I think my mom likes it more. But they're always football. They're at all of our games that we play at Douglas. They drive from Ashland and come watch us play, and that means a lot to me, because I enjoy their support. But I appreciate you saying that.
Your uncle was intense.
Yeah. Some people would say that about me too.
And,
I believe it.
Gary McPeak, of course, is very. He was with the Horsemen when I did the play-by-play for them for about 7 years.
Yep.
And Gary was. He's now at Eastern Kentucky.
Yep.
He's one of the top recruiters over there. Mm-hmm. So it's really helping this area because he's recruiting this area very well.
Yeah, I mean, he's really enjoying it. He retired from, Kentucky education system as a teacher and a coach. And,
he's double dipping is what
he's doing a great job over there. He enjoys it. Obviously, Walt Wells is a phenomenal person and coach, and I think they're going to have a great year. They're very talented over there this year, and they've got some, transfer portal guys from bigger colleges, so I think they're going to have a really good year if they stay healthy.
I knew they were going to be good when the kid from Beechwood, the quarterback from Beechwood, Jared Hergott, went over there. He's running like third or fourth team at quarterback. I said, man, they must be really good over there at Eastern.
Yeah. Hergott was a great player. They got some good players. I know they got a good quarterback return as well. So, yes, sir.
Last thing we ask every coach. I know one of the goals is in your mind, whether or not you say it to the kids, is to win a state championship. But what goals do you have as far as progressing along the season with your kids?
I mean, I know it's cliche to say, but, I talked about it today at our practice, is just focus on, what next period we have, what are some things that we want to get better at in this practice, and you just build up to those points. We have a very long season ahead of us. We have really good opponents on our schedule that have gotten a lot better. I think the city overall is a lot better in football than it was a few years ago. Jared can talk more and attest to that, after me, but I think it is a lot better than it was, and that's a credit to a lot of people and a lot of coaches and administrators. But, just continuing to build. I'm more excited for us just to kind of see what our identity is going to be. I mean, I think I know what our identity is right now, but that can evolve and change as you go throughout the season, as you know. Obviously we want to play great defense, we want to be good special teams, and, not turn the ball over on offense. But, those are all things that every coach wants. So just, trying to see that identity. And, goal-wise, obviously you want to try to get a 1 seed in your district so you can host playoff games. That's big. Obviously you want to try to win every game because of RPI.
Yep.
That's big in our system right now with RPI. And whatever your opinion on that is, it's both good and bad at certain things. But, if you win, you get rewarded, bottom line. Otherwise you're traveling in that third, fourth round if you're able to make it that far. So you want to win your district, set yourself up to hopefully make it to a region, which I've been blessed to be a part of several times. And, obviously, you make it to the state semis or the state championship, and it's all hands on deck from there. But you got to have a lot of health. You got to have some luck. You obviously have to have talent, which we have. So hopefully our kids will, continue to buy into that day-to-day process and get better.
Excellent. Is there one team on the schedule, one game on the schedule that you circled that you're definitely looking forward to this year?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are looking forward to the Brown Station game.
Yeah.
Coach Hawkins has done a good job with them, and they got a lot of good talent. They got a lot of guys back on defense that are really good. So, obviously as a coach, you never know how kids are going to play that week one. We didn't play very well last year in that game. We won the game, but we didn't play very well. Credit to them for that effort. So hopefully, your kids come out and play well. I think I'll know a lot more Friday night after our St. X scrimmage. kind of going into week one about, you know, what we have and what we kind of got to work on and what our game plan will be. You just hope that, you know, you stay healthy through your scrimmage. That's obviously every coach's goal. You know, then I think obviously you always want to start fast with that week one, and, you know, obviously all your district games are very important. And, you know, and if we're healthy at the end of the year and we're up there in RPI, that Boyle game's always big. You know, they handed it to us a year ago. We did not play very well.
On a muddy field, on a rainy field.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. They took it to us. You know, so they took it to everybody last year.
Yeah, they were tough.
Very good football.
Yeah, I mean, state championship, John Central was a heck of a football team, and they wore them out. So, you know, Coach Haddix and his staff do a great job. They're physical. They play hard. You know, and our kids got to see how hard that play looks like, you know, that's why I want to scrimmage the Trinities and the St. X's and play the Boyles and those type teams, because you got to simulate how hard they play, because they just play really hard. But, you know, obviously I'd like to try to do, you know, compete a little bit better at their place and be a great environment if we're able to, you know, have a good record, them have a good record, which is the expectation. So I think that's obviously a big game, and then obviously going into the playoffs.
And you know they put in turf field over there.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, really nice.
You got a turf field.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, really appreciate you coming on with us. We ask all the coaches, don't we? Is there one thing you want to talk about Frederick Douglass that we haven't mentioned?
Well, I mean, I just think that you know, a lot of people know about our talent. You know, a lot of people know about all the, you know, college recruits that we've had in our program. We've been blessed to have a lot of talented kids, but people need to understand how hard these kids work year round. You know, they're unbelievable. Their parents buy into it. You know, we do stuff year round with them. Obviously, we support the multi-sports, but, you know, we have a great product that has a lot to do with those kids and our coaching staff's work on a daily basis. And I don't think a lot of people see that in the day-to-day operations. You know, we've obviously won 55 games in 5 years, which is incredible. You know, I think we've lost 9, but, you know, obviously we haven't reached our ultimate goal, and we'll continue to strive to do that. But just the work that these kids put in. Ed Toll, our strength conditioning coach, which you guys know, he's been around Lexington for a long time. He's the best. He works our kids so hard and does it the right way. So I'm just blessed to have a lot of great players and good kids around me that work really hard, and the coaching staff. So they deserve a lot of that credit along with our administration.
Now, when you come to Rafferty's, what's a thing on the menu that you have to order that you really like?
Oh, it's the club for sure. Me and my wife love the club.
I think that's William's favorite, the club.
It's good.
King of Stream, and he also likes the potato soup.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff too.
Coach, we want to give you a gift card from Rafferty's for being on the show. We certainly appreciate it. We look forward to covering the Douglass Broncos this year at the farm.
I appreciate that. Thank you all for having me, and I'm glad everything's going well with you guys. Appreciate you.
We got the agreement now with Fayette County Public Schools, you know that, so we'll be out at the farm.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That is Nathan McPeak, the head coach of Frederick Douglass. We'll come back, and Jared Peck from the Herald Leader will join us, give us his insight on all the teams around the center. And a lot of coaches were texting me, how come you're not having me on? I said, we're just doing Lexington schools, the Lexington City schools and the private schools. It's not Mercer. It's not Bourbon. You know, I'm sorry. But anyway, we appreciate you coming on, Coach.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
That's Nathan McPeak of Frederick Douglass. We'll come back and we'll have Jared Peck from the Herald Leader after this on the Press Spin Preview Coaches Show.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Is your garage a total nightmare? It's time to live the dream with Hello Garage. Imagine pulling into your garage with a beautiful durable floor coating, super strong customized storage and organization. We're talking a total garage makeover, all in just about a day, and all from Hello Garage. Call Hello Garage today for your free estimate and make your dream garage a reality.
Hello Garage.
They say that being a Kentuckian makes you unique. At Whitaker Bank, we agree. We've always been unique. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Kentucky owned, Kentucky based, always has been, always will be. Yeah, you could say we are a unique bank, and we're proud of it. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
And welcome back to the Whitaker Bank mobile broadcast studio outside of Rafferty's Restaurant. And man, we're enjoying some of these appetizers, aren't we? Cheese fries, chicken fingers. What's this other one? What's that, Coach?
Cheese dip, buddy.
Cheese dip. Thanks to Morgan Lewis, the manager out here at Rafferty's. And you coaches watching for tomorrow night, we have decided to be right back here at Rafferty's. So Coach Johnson, Coach Charles, Coach Lawson, Coach Pennington, come to Rafferty's tomorrow night. I'll be texting you or calling you to remind you. Jared Peck from the Herald Leader. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing well. It's been a fun evening.
Tell us your synopsis of all these coaches have been on so far. What do you think they're really saying?
They're pretty impressive, aren't they? I mean, just a great group of guys. We've got some new enthusiasm this year with Bathiani and Hawks, and then you've got the old guard with McPeak there. He's been there 3 years. I guess he's the old guard now,
yeah.
According to some of the teams in Lexington. But just really impressive. You can see how they motivate their teams. We've got some of the best teams in the state in Lexington. Lexington Christian is going to be our number 2 team when the poll came out today. Lexington Catholic's number 6.
I get the paper. I get the Herald Leader every day.
Yeah, Lexington Catholic's going to be number 6. Frederick Douglass is number 1 in 5A, according to the coaches' vote. And when we survey every coach in the state, we ask them to turn in. Bryan Station is right there, number 6, I think, and Dunbar number 10. Sarah's just outside our top 10 this year, but they've built up a reputation. I mean, this is great football in Lexington.
Coach?
Yeah. What Coach McPeak said was that Lexington football has improved in the last few years. Do you agree with that? And what have you seen?
I mean, we've had 2 state semifinalists in Class 6A in the last 4 or 5 years. Tate's Creek made it. People forget about that now because it kind of went sideways a little bit. But, Dunbar made the state semifinals. They're a region champion. 2 years ago, Bryan Station and Douglas were fighting it out for the region championship. Bryan Station hasn't had back-to-back 10-win seasons since 1993. And they've just gone back-to-back 10-2, 10-2. And that's really impressive. Lexington Christian's been to 2 state finals. And Lexington, nobody wants to really play Lexington Christian. You heard that, Hawkins talk about wanting to scrimmage LCA is because LCA is not a regular 2A team.
Yeah.
I mean, they went into Boyle County last year, ran a completely different offense than they normally run, and came out with a win.
Had a different quarterback.
Yeah, well, they ran their safety at quarterback.
Yeah. Morris.
It was amazing.
I think it was Mason Moore or something.
Now, with saying that, I mean, there have only been 6 state champions from Lexington in all the years since 1959. Because it's really tough, and they, most of them play in Class 6A, where we know all the Louisville teams are, and it's just been hard sledding for Lexington teams because there are great teams from around the state as well. I mean, Mayfield, Beechwood, Highlands, historically great teams. So it's tough to win in Kentucky high school football, and it's been tough for Lexington schools. But I think that they put the games that they played in the championships levels, Lexington Christian won 2-3 points in the last 2 years is how they've lost. 1 point game, 2 point game by field goal at the end. And then Douglas was in both of those games late and kind of rallied from mistakes that they had made, in the first half in each of those games. And it's just, the bounce of the ball, and, just some mistakes come to bite you more than others. But there's no denying how good Douglas is, how good LCA is. And Dunbar and Bryan Station can hang with a lot of teams.
You mentioned Bryan Station back-to-back 10-2 seasons. What has Philip been able to do over there at Bryan Station to get that ship righted over there? Because before those previous 2 years, I think they only won 3 or 4 ball games.
It's discipline and belief, getting those players to believe in themselves, believe in what he's selling, and showing them what he can do. He talked about that 7-6 loss to Scott County, and I was at that game, and it was, he's able to run a good defense against the wing T, and the belief that he was instilled in those players as that game went on, even though they ended up losing that game, it showed that, hey, Hawkins and his staff knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and we can make this work. And they went rolling. They didn't lose a game until they got to the region championship that year. And they had a quarterback get injured in that game and went down. I mean, credit to Dunbar. Dunbar won that game. But it was an unfortunate circumstance where Bryan Station's quarterback got hurt. And, who knows what happens if he doesn't. Although Dunbar was playing really well up until he got hurt. They were playing great. And I don't know that they win it regardless anyway. But and it's the same thing with Dunbar. Discipline and belief, and instilling your program, and getting them to believe in themselves, and it starts building up the JV, working with the middle schools. Hawkins has got a new locker room, a new weight room, a new scoreboard. They got new turf out there for a couple of years ago. I mean, you can just feel the confidence building in those players, and it shows up in the results on the field.
Let's talk a little bit about the feeder programs. Always been a problem. When I was coaching, it was always a problem because you wouldn't get all the players from one middle school.
Yeah,
they were split, and those coaches at the middle school, they wanted to establish their program, so they didn't want to help. They didn't want your help with offensive, defense, etc. So, are we still in that situation?
We are in that situation quite a bit because it's still a split feeder program. I mean, the middle school generally goes to 2 different high schools. I think there's some situations where there are middle schools that are running the stuff in Fayette County that one of their feeders runs, but there's still that kind of split, and that's the kind of thing that you don't see in the county schools that are winning year over year, like the Boyle counties and the Scott counties, and things like that. Those are programs that are instilled from elementary school up, and LCA is a big thing too. Doug Charles runs their entire youth program from Pee Wee through middle school to JV. Doug Charles is in charge of all that, and that's no big surprise. They're really good.
Sounds like your neck of the woods a little bit up there in Boone County.
Oh yeah,
they kind of did that same stuff.
They did, and Ryle came along, Cooper came along, so they want Boone County's talent.
Yeah.
But Jared, when you look at high school football, what have been some of the biggest differences you've seen in the years you covered it for the Herald Leader? I know you're a soccer guy. Your daughter played soccer at Lafayette, but football-wise, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen, maybe for the better or whatever, in Lexington football?
Well, I mean, I think that seeing Dunbar kind of turn. It took an extra year for Wes Johnson to turn Dunbar around. He kind of scuffled one year, and then they were pretty good. But the reason why we have a few new coaches this year is because of what Hawkins did at Bryan Station, what Wes Johnson has done in Dunbar.
That's true.
And really what Jonathan Smith did at Tates Creek before. I mean, he had built a good program up until that dropped off last year. But I mean, there's obviously an idea that if you have the right people in place, you can get it going.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of that is fresh blood, new blood coming in, changing the dynamic. It happened with Lafayette a decade ago.
Yeah.
Fresh blood coming in, and they went to 2 state finals with Eric Shaw.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes it's just that new voice that comes in and does that. So that's what we've got this year. We've got a bunch of fresh voices, a lot of enthusiasm. You saw it from Bathiani. You're going to see it tomorrow night from John Lawson at Lafayette. And you saw it from Hawks tonight. I mean, they're really enthusiastic, and that, you said it earlier, that feeds into the players and to the program and to the community. I think Hawkins has built a community at Bryan Station with what they've been able to do for the 2 years. They had 7,000 people at that Douglas Bryan Station game last year, and it's going to be packed again 2 weeks from now, Friday night at Douglas.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince William we need to cover that game on Press Spin.
But I mean, that's the kind of thing that's going on, is when you have a little success. First, it starts with belief, and then when the success comes, there's more belief. And that's what's been really gratifying to see, is to see these Lexington teams. The knock on Lexington teams is they will get down on themselves quick, and then they'll beat themselves the rest of the game, and the other team doesn't have to do it.
Yeah. I've heard that.
That's the knock on Lexington teams.
I've heard that.
It's like you hit them in the mouth, and they'll back up a little bit, and then they'll start tearing each other down. I think Douglas does a real good job of not letting that happen. And one thing we talked about, when they played Boyle County last year, they were like the king of pre-snap penalties all up until the Boyle County game.
That's right.
They were nobody did pre-snap penalties like Douglas did. And after that Boyle County game, when they saw how disciplined Boyle County was, they didn't have I don't know if they had one pre-snap penalty the rest of the playoffs. They only had 4 penalties in the state championship game, and they were pass interference calls that were
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 2 or 3 pass interference calls of the 4. No pre-snap penalties. They finally got the message, and if they can do that again this year and control themselves and not do those kind of silly things, the pre-snap stuff, I mean, they were a different team in the 5A playoffs after the Boyle County game. Just really disciplined, and it's a shame, it just came down to, Kate, the Village Captain kid out of South Warren was exceptional.
They're very good.
And Douglas is just such a good team, and when they stay disciplined, they're a tough out. So
they move up to 6A next year?
They're definitely going to move to 6A, I believe. I mean, the enrollment's there. They're doing enrollment with a little differently, but I don't see there's any way that they don't move up to 6A next year.
Interesting.
Well, you're doing a great job at the Herald Leader. Anything else? Anything we need to talk about with the Herald Leader that we haven't talked about?
I've got the content rolling out this week. We have our top 10s rolling out this week. I've got a city preview coming. I got the top 100 players coming. I let coaches help me with that vote. They vote on the top 10 players they see. I do a preseason survey every year. I email it to all 223 coaches. I got 170 responses this year.
Wow.
And I have to thank those coaches for that. I cannot, it takes me a while to read all of them. Yeah. I do read all of them. I can't write about all of them possibly because there's not enough time and space. But I do appreciate them. And when I see good ideas in those surveys and you tell me about your teams, I do try to eventually get around to doing that. I did that last year with the border war between Washington County and Marion County. I try to do it with a lot of good ideas that I get from those coaches' surveys, and I can't thank the coaches enough for doing that for me.
Well, here at Press Spin, we certainly appreciate all that you do, Jared. Herald Leader doesn't go unnoticed. And we'll try to, we'll try to do a scoreboard show, or maybe an abbreviated show after our games on Friday night, won't we?
Yeah.
The scoreboard show is apparently, not going to happen with Rick Shaw, but Rick retired.
I've got some ideas for that.
Yeah, well, that would be good. I mean, it's you guys fill in a need, and I know people are yelling at you because you're only doing Lexington teams, But there's only so many places you can be.
Right.
I believe me. I know the pressure of people going, "What about me? What about me?"
Well,
I get that. I get that quite a bit, and it's like I'm pedaling as fast as I can.
Yeah,
fellas.
Well, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to know what do you take? Because he's at soccer game. You're at volleyball.
I'll
You're
be
at
at
soccer.
soccer.
You're at everything, unless there's two of you. I have a suspicion that there's two of you. Because
Well, I can tell you that my wife is not really happy with me at the beginning of the fall season because I will be at a soccer game tomorrow night, and I'm doing 2 soccer previews. When I leave here, I'm going to go write a soccer preview, a soccer feature, and another soccer preview, and a volleyball feature. So I try to see every Lexington team because we are the Lexington Herald Leader.
Yeah.
So I will see volleyball, soccer, and I will see most of the football teams. It is hard to do, and I can't get around to everybody as much as I would like, but I'm trying. I'm pedaling as fast as I can.
When you come to Rafferty's, what's the main thing you have to order?
I got to get a steak.
A steak?
What are we talking about?
Oh, I got you. They got some of the best steaks in town. Here's a gift card from Rafferty's,
Well,
Jared.
thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Jared Peck and Mike Mann. That just about does it. King of Stream. We had some great coaches on, and of course, great guests with Jared Peck.
Yeah, had a good night. Good night. Good night tomorrow night too.
Yeah, tomorrow night, here's the lineup. Jared talked about Wes Johnson, the job he's doing at Dunbar, Doug Charles at LCA, John Lawson, from Lafayette, and Chad Pennington, the former New York Jet, who's coaching at Sayre High School. All that's on the show tomorrow night, right here at Rafferty's, beginning at 7, King of Stream. He's the best, I tell you, my coach. I can't say enough about him.
I know.
He's the best.
He is. He's
the
amazing.
King of Stream. Jared, you're the best at the Herald Leader. Mike Meehan, you're the best color guy. And I'm Gary Ball from Whitaker Bank Broadcast Mobile Studio outside of Rafferty's. And you have listened to the Coaches Preview Show tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Prep Spin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of Prep Spin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson Sims and Commode PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.